Good morning, Singapore, and coming to you from the state courts right now is the award-winning psychologist herself, Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. How much trouble are you in, Jerry?
Good morning, everyone. I am not in the state courts. It will be very, very bad to say that. There's no way you can record or film anything there. So I'm behind the state courts. So all of you have accompanied me this morning because later on I'll be going for a hearing, but I am not in trouble.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
That's good.
Okay.
So, Dr. Jerry, today we're talking about psychological assessments and psychological testings. Tell us a little bit more about that in a nutshell.
Yeah, so today I have to go to the state courts because when things happen, right, sometimes psychologists are called upon to do assessments. So we do up the assessment, the reports, and it will be submitted. And that's why we have to come here sometimes. No, we don't come here very often. But anyways, most of the time for parents, they know psychological testings for the learning disorders. That means whether you are looking at dyslexia, whether you're looking at ADHD, whether you're looking at perhaps autism, all these have tests that we can do.
Okay. What's the difference between tests and assessments?
So assessment is the whole procedure. So it's a really good question, FD, because a lot of people just come and think that they're going to do a test immediately. We don't do the test immediately. We assess whether you require the testing and the suitability and what type of tests are required for your perhaps disorder.
So this is not just for kids, right? You're talking about adults as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some adults, they commit a crime and they
need to assess
they
them.
plead insanity or something like that. Then you have to assess them, right? To see if
Yes.
they're acting, lying or whatever.
Whether they are malingering, whether they are legitimately, having an issue.
Wow. I'd like to find out what kind of assessment you do to tell whether
Yeah.
someone has a quote-unquote problem or not.
But most of the time, they're just lying, right? They're acting, right? What do you think, Jerry?
Now we know when Glenn does the test, I will not take it for real. I will
Never.
Yeah, because that's my thing. Especially if you're dealing with someone in a say criminal case, you're relying on them to tell the truth, aren't you?
Yes. So, for example, the personality test that we do, so that's the MMPI. There are 567 questions.
What?
There's lie detector. There's lie detector built inside the questions also, so that you contradict yourself. If you do contradict yourself, it will be able to pick it up. Yeah,
so within
that's
those
the
500
personality
plus
test.
questions, there are contradicting questions to catch you off guard. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
That's how much you trust these criminals.
Guilty until proven innocent. There you go.
Yeah.
No.
That is an amazing number of questions.
I know, right?
But when we come back, let's find out, other than the court, where can these assessments and tests be used?
Okay.
Yep.
Here's Janet Jack.
FD goes on with his question. So you, in Singapore, an actual polygraph machine is not used? It's assessed through the questions?
The polygraph machine, okay, we are psychologists and I'm a clinical psychologist, or most of the time the tests are done by educational psychologists. The polygraph may be done perhaps by a forensic psychologist. That means someone that comes with the police force or with the courts. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So Jerry, other than the courts and criminal proceedings or whatever they may be, where else will these assessments and tests be used?
So you heard me say that the little ones, right?
Yeah.
They do the testing. So schools do them. So we do them for schools also. So MOE has psychologists that does the testings for the students. You would have testings at the workplace, looking at personalities, the leadership qualities, if they want to promote someone, if let's say they would like to see whether the team is can be a bit more cohesive, they look at the personality of the different team members. So at the workplace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone here ever been through one of those tests at the workplace?
No.
Personality
I've never
test?
been through it.
Why?
I've
No,
done
I'm just saying, I've
an
never
online
been-
personality test though.
You've done online, not
Online.
500 plus questions though, I'm sure.
The Myers-Briggs one, is this considered?
MBTI, the Myers-Briggs one is a short version, which is very trending with the young population nowadays. So they will go online and they will do, and then they will get 4 letters, and they say, for life, I'm left 4 letters. Now, very dangerous when you do online and just stick that label on yourself without further understanding, because those are just letters. Those are a computerized sort of algorithm that comes up with an explanation of what it is, and the report doesn't really know you, or the test doesn't really know you. So it comes up with something good to know.
What's the point of someone doing a personality test? Dr.
Thanks for
Jerry?
asking that. I wanted to ask that.
Shouldn't we all know who we are and what we're like and stuff like that? Why would we do a personality test on ourselves?
I mean, the very, obvious one for many people would be curiosity. There's also that innate sort of need for validation. I suppose I think I know I am this way, but I want a confirmation, and it's very difficult to have that confirmation or externally. So you look for something that is more quantitative. So it's now become a bit more quantitative, rather than saying you are an introvert or you are an extrovert. It's my test shows that I am an introvert or an extrovert. So it adds a different depth to it, and makes it a bit more formal when you tell someone.
Sean.
Yes, Dr. Jerry, I agree with you. I've always felt like I was a Gryffindor, but after I did my BuzzFeed quiz, right, I realized I'm a Hufflepuff.
You did a BuzzFeed quiz? Oh my God.
But hey, there's so many BuzzFeed quizzes out there that are very spot on, no?
Okay, so that's exactly what Jerry was talking about. These tests are not accurate.
Yeah.
The BuzzFeed
They're all fluff.
surveys and
You answered 5 questions
Tests.
and it gave you a character.
Yeah, I know what kind of sandwich I am,
Oh my God.
what ice cream flavor I am.
You clearly have too much time.
so Jerry, these psychological tests, right? What kind of grading are we talking about here? What, for example, if I were to take a psychological test, what can I expect? As in, like, the end result.
Okay. So you're going for a psychological assessment first. So
Okay.
when you go there, the psychologist will chat with you, will ask you some questions, maybe a little bit long-winded about your past, about your present, about your challenges, before they go into the formalized or standardized tests. Yeah. So what they will be looking out for would be not only the content, but also the demeanor, your behavior. So all these goes into our observations also, and throughout the entire process of testing. So if you're looking at, let's say, an educational assessment, that means, the child comes with an attentional issue. So we will do the basic IQ test, we will do the achievement test if needed. So the achievement test covers both the literary as well as the math component. And then you have the attentional component. Yeah. So
Okay,
usually the...
No, carry on.
Sorry.
No, carry on.
Yeah, usually the basic IQ test and the other tests are administered. That means it's face to face, and you do different activities. The attention test is usually computerized.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Can any Tom, Dick, or Harry just walk in off the street and say they want an assessment just for the sake of it? I mean, like Shaun did a test based on 5 questions and they immediately told him what kind of character or person he is. But if he wanted to do it for real, by someone like yourself, can it be done?
Of course, it can be done. We can do from the preschoolers right up to like 80 years old, right? 80, 90 years old. But my question would be, why are you doing it for fun? Because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money. It's not free,
okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you
many
can't
other
walk in
things.
off the street.
So many other things you could be doing,
That's true
rather
also.
than this,
Yeah.
like
Finding
a foot
out who you are.
massage,
Yeah.
a full body massage.
Go for a holiday.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm listening to this, and I can imagine people saying, and this is a question I have too. If I have an issue, let's say I am a flight person, not a fight person, can I do an assessment to figure out why I'm like that?
You might be able to do some surveys, but typically the psychologist will chat with you first to find out what is happening. So perhaps something happened in the past, you were bullied, or you had your survival skills or survival instincts had to kick in, and those might not be picked up by a standardized test. And remember, these tests are culturally bound or culturally biased, and many of our tests are not from Singapore. We have a few local ones, but many of them come from the Western countries.
So how does that work for an Asian then? If they're culturally biased.
So Asia, for the IQ test, it has been translated to different countries, different languages, and it goes through a lot of rigorous sort of research before they can roll it out in any country.
So Singapore doesn't have its own.
Singapore has just developed a Singapore Ability Scales.
Okay.
Really, really proud. Many of the professors that are on the board that had developed it are my seniors, so very happy.
Okay, hold on, Jerry. Hold on, We're going for a traffic break. Hold on.
Stand by.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. It's a Tuesday, and that's why we have with us award-winning psychologist Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room with us. She is on location because she needs to attend a court hearing later. But look at her, so dedicated, still with us on The Big Show this morning, despite her busy schedule. Thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us.
How can I miss all of you? Super love all of you.
We super love you back.
Thank you, Dr. Jerry. So, Dr. Jerry, you're on location for a very good reason, because you'll be heading into the courts later on for a psychological assessment result. What's the proper term for it?
Well, it's just a hearing, and it's where the lawyers would just question you about your report and the details of it, and find out a little bit more, to ensure that everything is in order. It's quite exciting.
Are these lawyers rude towards you? Sometimes, I watch movies all the time. Sometimes these lawyers are very rude towards the psychologists. So
Badgering the witness. Objection.
No. I think the drama effect on TV sometimes is overdone. I don't think they do that. Yeah.
Right. The
They are very nice.
prosecutors
They have been
are
really
sometimes
nice.
quite hard.
Jerry, we have a question on our Facebook page. MBTI, Myers-Briggs type indicator.
Yep.
Is that an assessment or a test, or what is that?
It is a tool to find out your personality. So it is a very commonly used tool nowadays, yes. And it is a legitimate tool.
But this is the
like
one
I
that
say-
Shaun was saying he used it, but it's too short, right?
Oh, no, not that it's too short. Many times you do it on your own. You obtain the 4 letters, but you don't exactly know what it means. So how do you apply it to your workplace? How do you apply it to your relationship? How do you apply it? There's so much that the report can tell you, but it doesn't know you. So sitting with a psychologist, you can dialogue with the psychologist about certain sort of behaviors, and it might not be 100%. It is a predictor, but it is not carved in stone. Your personality is not carved in stone. So there are times when you could be doing the same test when you were a teen, and then the very same test when you are like 40 and 50, and you realize that there is a shift. It should not, but then through the years, you learn more things, you develop more things, and then there's a shift.
That's interesting that you say that your personality is not carved in stone. Do you see that with everyone, or do some people remain mainly the same, or do a lot of people change a lot?
It should stay consistent. But for some people, because they develop skills. So, for example, one of the adults was saying, when I did it as a kid, I was an introvert, but now I'm an extrovert. Now, that's typically not common, but through the years, this person has gone into sales job and had to develop these presentation skills, interactive skills, engagement skills, and now feels very comfortable with it. So that's why there was a shift. But if you do it on your own, you might not understand why there is this shift.
Right.
That's
And
a
the
positive thing,
four
though.
letters, if you do it on your own, the 4 letters might be SHIT.
Oh.
We're on air right now.
I mean, right? I mean, seriously. I mean, some people. I mean, after their assessment and all that, you're talking about 4 letters that they get,
Yes.
or something like that. I mean, there are some people with horrible personalities.
But Dr. Jerry, that did quote a positive change, because from going from introvert and then learning presentation skills to becoming an extrovert and being able to stand in front of people.
Yeah.
We'll continue to talk
But
about
she did
that.
say most of the time, there is no change.
We'll continue to talk about that on the Big Show TV on our
Okay.
Facebook page.
Meantime, here.
Dr. Jerry, you quoted a case about somebody becoming a little bit more extroverted. To me, that's a positive, because presentation skills are very hard to sort of perfect, right? But are there personalities that go the other way, that turn very, very negative?
I think we are reading it as a positive and negative when we look at personality. So this particular test, right, we're looking out for strengths. We're looking at what, you can utilize for yourself. So it's actually a very neutral test. The other test that I was talking about, the MMPI, is slightly different. So the MMPI would look at whether you have depression, whether there's psychopathic deviance behavior, whether there's hysteria, so the whole string of clinical disorders. So that one has a little bit more of a diagnosis. So this MBTI doesn't really have a diagnosis. It simply tells you what kind of personality you are, and to tap on what you can tap on.
Yeah, so an MBTI would be good if someone is looking at a career, they're not sure whether they're tuned to that career. They would take an MBTI, and that would sort of help them figure out where they would fit.
Yes.
What's an MMPI?
So MMPI, I always have to try and pronounce the word.
Oh, okay, it's one of those, is it?
It's Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory.
Clearly, it started in Minnesota.
Wow.
MMPI.
Minnesota. Okay.
Dr. Jane, what's the difference between like the MBTI, MMPI, your Ikigai, your Enneagrams, and like the strengths and weaknesses?
Speak
charts that we
English,
do?
Sean. I
These
have
are
no
all
idea.
tests
What's
that you can do.
Ikigai?
Yeah, these are
What's
tests you can do.
Ikigai?
Ikigai
Yes.
is a Japanese one that helps you develop your passions and what was it? Your passion, what you feel like you should be paid doing, and what you are willing to do, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So the enneagrams at the Ikigai and the MBTI commonly use, in messes where you're looking at team building, you're looking at groups, so you roll it out to the more the messes, right? But MMPI is more diagnostic in its testing process and characteristics.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is all new to me.
It's really interesting because I'm now wondering. I want to go take one of these tests.
Yeah, because FD has no idea who
Who he is.
Oh. After 80 years.
I think, deep down inside, he's always wanted to be a priest, I think. All these years I've been working with FD, I've always pictured him as a priest.
Yeah, I can picture you
As a Catholic priest. Because,
Yeah.
you go to church and you see all these priests and all that, and
They
and
look
you
a little
just
bit
feel
like FD.
everyone should be speaking like FD.
Yeah.
Because, back in the day, in the 70s when I first started going to church, the priests were all well spoken, but over the years it's deteriorated a little bit, and I can't help but look at FD and feel like if
He needs to be a priest.
if he was a priest, he would go all the way. He would be our first cardinal, not the current archbishop who became a cardinal.
Yeah, but our cardinal is a very deserving cardinal.
Yeah, but
That's why he needs to
Of
become a
course,
priest.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that
Yeah.
that he's not
Yeah.
deserving. But what I
Yeah.
mean is because FD is kind of Caucasian-y.
Caucasian.
Occasionally,
Is that a word?
White.
yeah, my
Caucasian.
knees are Caucasian.
If he became a cardinal, he would probably become pope. even.
Possible. People
kind
won't
of,
even know he's Singaporean.
You're kind of whitish.
Kind of whitish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caucasian.
And when they're picking a pope, it's white smoke that comes out.
Of course, yes. It's based purely on the color of your skin.
Anyway, let's get away from
He
this,
looks
shall
a bit
we?
like Pope Francis, although
bit.
Pope Francis is a bit more handsome, lah.
More
I have
handsome.
to say. But I mean, you're not going to take offense to that.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
did
unless
give you a
unless
look,
you want to
though.
go to hell.
No, because there have been times, I think, where I have missed out on taking these tests. For example, when I turned...
The oath of celibacy. Or?
No. When I turned 40, I went through a very emotionally twisting time. And I think a test like this would help me understand myself. And I never took it. And these things that like now I'm heading into a much older age group, and sometimes you feel a little lost.
Speaking of older
Quite
age group,
interesting.
Dr. Jerry, I mean, you spoke about
Yep.
academics and career and personality and all that, and how it's used in the legal world and all that. What about geriatrics?
So the geriatrics are the ones that we are trying to target now. They're really scared when they hear, psychiatrist, psychologist, just the profession itself. They go like, I'm not crazy. I don't want to go and see anyone. So I'm really proud of my center and my team because last year we put together a little short checkup and test for the geriatrics because through the COVID there was a lot of geriatric like depression, suicide, and therefore we were like, we must do something with them and for them. So out of like a whim, I called my friend who was working in elder care and I say, hey, come, let's do something for your seniors. And he was like, okay, come, let's do it. So we've been doing it twice a year now. We've been doing a mental health checkup. So just like you do twice yearly, maybe every year, a physical health checkup, we're doing a mental health checkup. Yeah, so we are looking at their mental state, we are looking at the emotional state. So the next one is next week. I'm so excited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and to keep them safe, we do it online as of now.
And how old are geriatrics? I
Yeah, I
mean,
was
what's the
about to
start of what's the age group start?
Let me
About
guess.
60.
Above. Okay.
Above 60.
65.
It's about...
Spot on.
Is it 60,
Yeah,
65?
65.
Okay.
65. Okay.
And can someone my age, geriatric, can someone my age walk into your clinic and have this done?
At this point, no. So we tie up with different elder care centers. So at this point, we are just tying up with different elder care centers. I'll be putting up the details later on. It's online, so you just have to register.
Wow.
If everyone gathers in the park, it'll be geriatric park.
You
very
can't
slow,
help yourself, right?
He cannot, no, he
can't.
cannot,
He
you
can't,
know.
he can't. He has to leave the room if you want him to stop talking.
That also, he won't shut him up.
You hear him from the hall.
That's why.
Aiyo.
That's a good thing. It's nice. I mean,
Sometimes.
When I
But they are so
sit,
lovely.
yeah, of course.
Jerry, when you do these assessments, on average, how long does it take?
So the geriatric one is really a very fast one. It's just a checkup, right? So it's half an hour.
But
Yeah.
normally,
But-
if you do a full-on assessment,
If it's a psychological assessment, it can take anything from 2 hours right up to the entire day. It really depends on how many tests we are conducting. So it can be the entire day from 9 to 5 or 4, or if you don't have such a long attention span, it can be split up into half days.
Okay.
So just a question, Dr. Jerry. These tests are questions? I mean, how is it structured? Like, are they questions that are asked, or you know, how I don't even know where to start.
Test me.
Yeah,
Pretend
like-
I'm a geriatric right now.
Like, what is an
No.
example of a challenging question? What is a statement that people find hard to answer during
30
these
seconds.
tests?
Test FD,
Okay,
FD.
we'll find out more on air.
On air.
On air.
30.
We'll
That's
test
it.
FD on air.
Oh,
That's Angel, huh?
Like more of the challenging statements. No, we just want
Well,
to see. Are
we
you
can all
ready?
answer.
No,
we can
no,
all
no,
answer.
Are you ready, FD?
do I have a choice?
No.
okay, stand by. Here we
Something
go.
else, you
Never
don't
have
have
a
a choice.
choice.
Traffic. Stand by, traffic in 3.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the Therapy Room.
Dr. Jerry, today we're talking about psychological assessments and psychological testing. And you've already gone through the different sort of areas in life where these tests and assessments can be used. So, for example, for academic reasons, careers, personality, in the legal world, clinical, as well as geriatric. And we kind of ended on the geriatric bit because you said the geriatric testing starts for people from the age of 65.
Yep.
And we just so happen to have someone who is in that age group.
Yeah.
Very,
See that,
very,
Jerry?
very privileged to have this person that's in this age group.
Good morning, Glenn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good morning.
And I was asking you, like, what are some of the harder sort of statements or questions that come across in these tests that people find hard to answer? Can you ask FD these questions or put these statements out to him?
Sure.
Yay.
Sure. So I'll do the very commonly used ones by all
Hey,
doctors.
hey, hey.
Getting nervous already. No,
okay.
no,
The
questions coming
geriatric
up.
hit his kneecap.
Almost fell off my chair already.
Uh-oh, we don't want the geriatric
See, that's why this
falling
show
off.
is the best show in Singapore because we have a representative from every generation.
That
That
is
is
true.
true.
Yep.
Yes.
We got
You know.
Gen Z, millennial, baby boomers, geriatric. Speaking of which,
Okay. Speaking of which,
Okay. I'll just do one that is very commonly used, and the doctors would do it anyway. So even your medical doctors would do it when you bring your parent or a senior to him or her to the doctor, right? Okay. It's called the mini mental state examination. So it's really short, and that's
Okay.
why the doctors would do it. I'm not going to run through everything. I'm just going to ask you to. I like this one. I would like you to count backwards from 100 by 7. By
Oh.
sevens.
by 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
I start at 100.
I can't even do that.
I start at 100. I go to 93.
Very good.
I go
This
to
math is very good.
86. I go to 79.
Okay.
I go to 72. I go to
Wow.
65.
Fast
I
already,
go
like.
to
Fast.
crazy.
Fast. I would have failed that.
Yeah, I jam already.
Well done.
Wow.
I failed on the second
I've
number.
got something.
Okay,
I
but
know.
you know how I do that, Jerry? I'm not calculating. I'm seeing the
it.
numbers in
so,
my head.
So am I. I see
Yeah.
them as well.
It's visual.
I was
see
also
the
trying to
numbers.
see the number.
Yeah, I could see the number. I don't know where
Okay.
7
Oh,
was.
yeah, boy.
Okay.
Okay, next one.
Okay, this one actually I want to test Shaun because I know he's dyslexic, but for a similar
Yay,
level,
I'm free.
Okay, don't.
similar
like, no.
level one is still part of the mini mental state. It's an alternative for that question. Shaun, spell the word world backwards.
Oh.
Spell the word world backwards.
See, I'm trying to spell it forward first. D L O. No, sorry. R O W.
Yes.
That took a while.
Yay.
Well done.
Well done.
That took a while.
Well, yeah, it's all right. You
It's
saw it as well.
okay. It's okay. 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 Now, Glenn, repeat
Yes.
this phrase. No ifs,
No ifs,
ands, or
ands.
buts.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Very nice.
Well,
What was that
done.
supposed to test?
Yeah, what does that test?
So whether they can hold it in short term, so whether they can hold it in short term memory and then articulate it out.
Oh, his short-term memory very good.
Very
You tell
good.
him about a meeting he has on tomorrow. You don't know anything.
Ask him what he ate last week.
Okay.
You don't know.
So I was just telling my wife the other day, I need a PA. She says, you don't need a PA. I'm like, I want a PA.
Yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
want
You
it.
want is different, from need.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
From need. Huh?
Okay. Okay.
Terrible, yeah.
All right. Let's go on the Big Show TV to continue this.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yes,
We've been on air.
That's correct.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Rosette. Listen to your heart on 1FM 91.3.
A battery check.
It's okay,
My
that's
battery has
Glenn.
28.
Glenn is
I'm
traumatizing.
sorry. We need to do this. Do you have anything for Angel?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I thought I was getting off
Angel-
scot free.
No,
Give her a
Angel
hard one.
is no, hers is simple one.
Thank you.
So make up a sentence about anything. Make up a sentence about anything. So it must contain a noun and a verb.
Oh, she's very good at this.
I came
she's
to work
English
today and had lots of fruit in my Tupperware.
Brilliant. Yes,
Wow.
that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
I got
Wow.
a
Storyteller.
That's why.
So she has that podcast, The Land Before Bedtime.
My mom's an English teacher.
That's correct as well. Yeah.
All the stories she's made up, no?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, really?
All
Yeah.
pulled out of thin air.
Yep.
Now I need a
Absolutely.
polygraph test. So does Glenn.
Yeah, so it's very, very simple, but you can see it would get more difficult if someone has like dementia, Alzheimer's. These little tasks gets more and more difficult. Yeah, so some of the tests are administered this way. We ask a question. Sometimes it's to do an activity. So I cannot demonstrate because I don't have the tools here with me and I'm outside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are all these questions and activities mental or are any of them physical?
Physical. So there are
Physical,
some
yeah.
that are physical. They will get to do puzzles. They get to do like memory work. So they are shown pictures. Yeah. So it's not all just verbal and mental. Yeah.
Okay, FD, you're giggling.
No, I'm just thinking. Do you guys, when you do these tests, do you still use that
Ink blot.
the ink blot?
Oh,
and
what
what
is
does
the
the
butterfly?
butterfly
The
Looks
rock
like a-
shot test or rock
Looks
shot.
like an atlas moth.
It's the
Yeah.
ink
So
test, right?
we
Ink blot
don't
test.
use that
You don't.
anymore because
Right.
it is left too much for interpretation. Yeah.
Okay.
So, moving towards more quantitative data, more hard data.
Okay.
Because like that is like kind of like it's beauty in the eye of the beholder,
Beholder,
right?
yeah.
Everyone can see something different, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I was giggling just now is Prashant has come on our show and said, I just completed a personality test.
Okay.
And I just found, this was on Facebook. I've just completed a personality test on Facebook and I found out what kind of potato I am.
Oh, very good, Mr. Potato Head.
There's so many of these.
He's a russet potato. Oh, hello.
Hello.
So there's my, where are you?
Can see.
So there's my senior psychologist,
Hey.
Cassie. Yeah, so
Hi.
she'll be joining me today at the courts. So very
Wonderful.
excited. No, both of us are very stressed.
Has she been sitting there the whole time?
No, she just
Oh,
came.
okay.
What-
I
what's
told
her
you I really came early for both of, all of you.
You're wonderful.
Yep.
Well, what's her
Tessie.
name again? Tessie.
No, cursing.
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 Sorry. Okay.
Cursing. Okay.
30
Okay.
seconds.
We're going back on air, and then we'll have final words from you, Dr. Jerry,
yeah.
like a kind of a
It's
wrap up.
8:40 already.
It's
Yeah, it's
8:40.
8:40
We'll do a
already.
wrap up
So
and your words. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Stand by, huh?
Dr. Jerry, when was the last time you did a BuzzFeed quiz? Can I send you one? I want to find out what kind of house you
You live
are
in?
from. Yeah.
Oh,
What kind of a Hogwarts house you are?
Hogwarts. Huh?
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Do you watch Harry
And I'm
Potter?
supposed to
They're
tell
selling
you.
the,
Yeah,
they're
I
selling
do.
the Harry Potter sweater and shoes and everything at
Yeah.
Ruby.
Oh,
Are you gonna get the
yes.
sweater for me too?
There
Okay,
you go.
we can get you something.
It's from Ruby. They're not
Am I
very
the only one who's not into Harry Potter?
yes.
different
Yes,
generation.
You're the only person.
What do you mean
Stand by.
different generation?
Thank you so much for having us on. Our guest for this morning is Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us, Jerry. I mean, the past 40 minutes have gone by just like that.
Yeah, and we've been talking about psychological assessments, psychological testings. You're on location, just beside the state courts. What do you have to say about what we've been speaking about today, Dr. Jerry?
Okay, for the geriatrics, I want to encourage all of them to take the twice yearly mental health, or at least once yearly mental health checkup. And we're looking at whether we can roll it out to the adults even, just to have a quick check-in. So you're not coming for a session, you're not trying to pour out your life story, but really a quick check-in. And for the young ones who are struggling, there's always hope. So the test might be expensive, but you start to know yourself, you start to know what to do, so that your academic journey becomes a little bit more comfortable.
Where would
Yeah.
the seniors go for these tests, Dr. Jerry? Like you say, you want to encourage people to come forward and do the tests.
At this point, we are only targeting or collaborating, not targeting, but collaborating with the Elder Care Center. So Yong En Elder Care Center is the pioneer of this project that we are doing.
Okay,
And then there will be
hopefully that spreads.
CESCO, and then hopefully it spreads. We're doing it with CESCO in December.
So, Jerry,
awesome.
through these tests, one can determine if someone is kind of slowing down or something like that.
If there is a deterioration in any of the cognitive areas.
Right. And this is a problem amongst the
Oh, yeah.
senior
it is,
population.
it is.
Yeah.
It's
So-
a statistic. Yeah.
So I think that's really good advice to get our senior citizens to go get their mental health checked up
Yeah.
regularly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Jerry, before we say goodbye, do you have anything to share?
I have two little kind of like phrases, but or encouragement for the students who are taking the exams in a couple of days, the PSLE and those taking the year exams, the national exams. So one is from a young girl, and she says she has this epiphany suddenly, and she says, "Let us work to better ourselves and not for the perception of others."
Yes.
And I thought it
Nice.
was such a beautiful thing. And the other one is from Vincent van Gogh. And I really love Vincent van Gogh, although he became schizophrenic at the end of his life. But he says something that is very relevant. If you hear a voice within you say, "You cannot paint," then by all means paint. And that voice will be silenced. So for those that are nervous during the exams and say, "I cannot do it," just do it.
Yeah.
And that voice will be silenced.
Yeah, just
Nice.
do
Did you
it.
hear Jerry's voice change?
That was her
Just
mom.
do it.
That was her mom voice. do
Just do it.
Okay.
it or else.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerry, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Have a good
You
hearing.
too, all
See
of
you next
you.
week.
Okay, I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Take
Bye.
care.